Here's what you're not going to see in today's video. A bunch of footage from the actual anime Today's Menu for the Emiya Family. We may have had some copyright strike issues. Here's what you are going to see in today's video.
At the end of Unlimited Blade Works, Shirou was basically like, trace on Sandwich Master. And then this happened. Come on.
How's it going, fellow foodies? Welcome back to Foodie Friday. Today we are making, what did he call them? Breakfast sandwiches? I do have a full React series going, but that is over on my Patreon because YouTube. So if you guys do want to support the channel directly, check out the links below for Patreon, where you'll have access to all of the React series that we've done so far with this anime. Now with that out of the way, subscribe, hit the like button, let's make some sandwiches. Realistically, this is what we'll need for this video. You're gonna need a little bit of thin sandwich bread. I picked this up from a local deli. No, not from the bakery I work at, because we don't actually sell this kind of bread. You're gonna need some honey. This was actually sent to me by someone in our community, which is fantastic, by the way. You're also gonna need butter to make your mustard butter. Favorite style of bacon, this one is amazing. Whatever eggs you wanna use, and of course the broccoli. Now you're also gonna need some mayo to make your honey mustard mayo. We did just make an entire video about how to make your own mayo, but I wanna stay as true as I can to this recipe, and so we're gonna use Kewpie. Even though I only have Dijon mustard, we're not going to talk about that.
To start things off, we're actually going to make our sauces first. To make our mayo mustard Kewpie sauce, all we're going to do is add about 2 tablespoons worth of mayonnaise and about 1 hefty tablespoon worth of honey. You're also going to do some fresh cracked pepper and a touch of Dijon mustard. Mix this together just until you have a nice creamy consistency with your mayonnaise. Feel free to add more mustard, less honey, whatever you want. That was a nice shot there, buddy. Now for our mustard butter. This, he had mentioned, was just Japanese ground mustard and a little bit of fresh butter. I'm going to be using just some fresh Kerrygold butter here and some mustard powder. Yeah, just put that butter anywhere. Just anywhere. Now try to land your butter in the bowl, and what we're going to do is actually soften this up before we introduce our mustard powder to it. You do want to try to use room temperature butter before you introduce your powder to get this fully incorporated. You're going to work this in until it's nice and soft, hit this with a little bit of salt, and get this ready to be able to be spread. We have our 2 sauces ready, set those to the side for later.
I gotta talk about these vegetables real quick. In the anime, from what it had looked like he was maybe using a rapini, which is similar to a broccolini, but they tend to be a little bit more leafy. Now, feel free to use whatever vegetables you want. Something nice and leafy would be great. Something like bok choy would be awesome. Asparagus would be great in this. Broccolini is gonna work just fine.
Let's get our vegetables ready to blanch. Just cut off the ends and grab some ice water.
When you are blanching vegetables, it's super important to have 2 things. Salted water to actually blanch them with, and ice water to shock them with. We're not gonna be blanching these too long, probably about 30 to 40 seconds at the most, and then we're gonna shock them in ice water until they're completely cooled down. When you do this process, you actually maintain the nice vibrant color of the vegetable without overcooking it. If you just kind of let them cool off naturally, they may start to turn a little bit brown and start to oxidize a lot faster than if you were to actually shock it in ice water. So if you're doing any kind of green vegetable, just do this method. It's gonna save you a lot of time, and they're gonna taste phenomenal afterwards. Because of how big my pot is, I'm only gonna be able to do about half of my broccolini at one time, so we don't overcrowd the pot.
So we're gonna drop our broccolini in for about a minute, look for a snack, very disappoint, no snacks. Come back, test the broccolini just to make sure it's cooked. Pop this into our ice bath for about another minute or so, just to make sure it's completely cooled. We're also gonna blanch the other half of the broccoli that we have, and look at the green vibrance of this broccolini now. This is the color that you're looking for.
But you also want it to sound like this. That's why you blanch your vegetables. Super tender, but still crunchy, and still beautiful and vibrant. Okay.
Now we'll start cooking our bacon. If you're not a fan of bacon, use tempeh.
That is some thick bacon. This is why this was $10.
Now, Shirou does use a little bit of olive oil for when he's frying his bacon, but it's not absolutely necessary for when you're actually frying bacon. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. I only start with about 4 slices. Get them super crispy on slow and low. And of course, you gotta listen to this. Smash like. Now we are going to drain all the oil off of the bacon by dilution, he's out of here. You do want to drain all the excess oil off of your bacon so that way they stay super crispy for when we actually press the sandwich later. Use this by sandwiching this between some paper towels. Now we're going to work on these scrambled eggs for the actual sandwich. I use about 5 eggs for this because I wanted a little bit extra. I know you only saw 4, but no, I put in more. Hit this with black pepper and just gently break the yolk. You don't want a full scramble. I'm not sure why, but use a chef's knife to get some butter into your pan and gently start melting it. You don't want this on a ripping hot heat. Before the butter is totally melted, add in all of your eggs and constantly stir this, scraping the bottom of the pan, making sure that none of the eggs sticks. This is on a low and slow heat. We don't want this on a high heat while we're scrambling eggs. As the eggs start to tighten up, we're going to actually turn off the heat, hit them with a little bit of salt to finish seasoning them, and you should have fluffy scrambled eggs. We're then going to take this and let them cool down on a plate.
So now we have all of our ingredients assembled. We have our broccolini, we have our eggs, we have our bacon, we have our sauces. This comes to the fun part, trying to make the ultimate sandwich.
First, select your bread. Yes, this sounds like a very obvious step, but I like taking the bread out of the middle. Spread some of your beautiful mustard butter on each and every slice. Yes, on every slice. This doesn't have to be a super thick layer of mustard butter, but I'm only saying that because I kind of ran out. Now we're going to go ahead and layer everything just like Shirou did in the anime. I start with utilizing all of the bacon I have and eating the rest. We're then going to layer our broccolini. I try to make it to where we have a little bit of our actual top meeting the bottom on each side, and then drizzling a good amount of our mayo honey concoction right on top. Don't use too much sauce, otherwise your bread will be soggy when we go to press the sandwiches. Now the egg is the last part, and the reason why this is the last part is because you actually fill all the crevices with the egg. This is going to start filling the gaps in really nicely, so try to utilize it properly. And not too much longer later, we have our sandwiches assembled. It's like the Avengers on some bread. Pop your tops onto your sandwiches and get these ready to press. I decided to turn the sandwiches because I felt like it would be better, but probably doesn't matter. Place some plastic wrap right on top of your sandwiches just to protect them, and then another cutting board or something heavy to help press them. And this is fine. This is the only heavy thing I had on hand. I promise. I swear, this is it. Leave these undisturbed for about 10 minutes.
So while our monster is resting for about 10 minutes to get all those juices nice and pressed, without you guys, a lot of these videos wouldn't be possible. So I just wanted to say thank you. If you guys want to check out my Patreon, check out the links below for full reaction videos, as well as other content like recipe cards and notebooks.
Remove your weight of choice, in this case a bunch of hopes and dreams, and let's check out our sandwiches. Do a little Olay move with the plastic and look at those layers. This thing is ready to cut. This knife is probably excessive, but I like it. We're gonna cut this into thirds, so we're gonna do 2 cuts right in the middle. And since all has been going according to plan, look at those layers of egg, broccolini, bacon, sauce. Oh, deliciousness. Plate this guy up right next to each other, so that way you have this beautiful effect when you present it. You know, I have a strong feeling that I would have made Saber very happy.
Oh, it's so pretty. And there it is, guys, the breakfast, what is it, Sando? Breakfast sandwichi? This is the breakfast sandwich that Shirou made for Assassin, and I have to say, it is really pretty looking. How do you do this with one hand? You have the saltiness from the bacon, the creaminess from the eggs, and the mayo honey dressing works really nicely on the greens. You have the flat pressed bread from all the alcohol. This is a winner, guys. That's really good. What's your favorite style of breakfast sandwich? Honestly, a little bit of bacon, egg, and cheese go a long way, with a little bit of miso mayo, where you can check out how I did that in the video right over here. And before I forget, the winner of the Shield Hero giveaway is, boom, congrats. Hit me up on Discord, I'll get that out to you. My name is Chef PK here on Foodie Friday. Get subscribed, remember, keep playing with your food.